Welcome to our lecture on the biochemistry of metabolic processes. Today, we are going to explore one of the most fundamental and ancient pathways in all of biology, known as glycolysis. Whether you are a human, a plant, or a microscopic bacterium, this process is what keeps you alive. We will build your understanding from the ground up, so let us dive right in. Now that we have introduced our topic, let us start with a simple analogy to understand why glycolysis matters. Imagine you have a massive, sturdy log of wood, and you need to start a fire to keep warm. You cannot just throw a match at the giant log and expect it to burn efficiently. You first need to chop it down into smaller, manageable pieces of kindling. In the human body, the carbohydrates you eat are broken down into a simple sugar called glucose, which acts just like that giant log. Your cells desperately need energy, but glucose is too stable and large to use directly. Glycolysis is the cellular axe that chops this glucose log in half, releasing quick bursts of energy. Building on that analogy, let us look at what is actually happening inside your cells. In formal biochemical terms, glycolysis is a highly conserved 10-step metabolic pathway. It takes place in the cytoplasm of almost all living cells. The word itself comes from Greek, where glyco means sweet or sugar, and lysis means to split or break apart. During this sequence of 10 enzyme-catalyzed reactions, one 6-carbon molecule of glucose is systematically broken down into two 3-carbon molecules, known as pyruvate. Importantly, this process does not require oxygen, making it an anaerobic pathway. It serves as the fundamental first step of cellular respiration, before the mitochondria even get involved. Understanding what glycolysis is naturally leads us to ask why it is so critical for our survival. You might wonder why we need to study this specific pathway out of the thousands in the body. Glycolysis is absolutely essential because it is the only source of energy for certain critical cells, such as your red blood cells, which lack mitochondria entirely. Furthermore, think about when you are sprinting away from danger or lifting heavy weights. Your muscles run out of oxygen very quickly and cannot wait for slower, oxygen-dependent energy systems to kick in. In these intense moments, glycolysis ramps up massively to supply your muscles with rapid energy, allowing you to perform at your peak. Now that we know why this pathway is essential, let us look at its chemical summary. To truly understand what goes in and what comes out, we can condense the entire 10-step process into a single, elegant chemical equation. Think of this as a biological receipt. On the left, we have our raw materials. Glucose is our primary fuel. NAD+ acts like an empty taxicab, waiting to pick up high-energy electrons. ADP and inorganic phosphate are low-energy building blocks. On the right, we see our products. The glucose is chopped into 2 molecules of pyruvate. We get 2 molecules of NADH, which are the taxicabs now fully loaded with electrons. Most importantly, we generate 2 molecules of ATP, the universal energy currency, along with water. If glucose increases, the pathway pushes forward to make more ATP. Before we move on, let us see this with a concrete example of tracking our molecules. Suppose a cell takes in exactly 1 molecule of glucose. What exactly does it get out of it? First, we start with our 6-carbon glucose and input our empty carriers and low-energy blocks. Next, the pathway splits that 6-carbon sugar perfectly in half, giving us 2 3-carbon pieces. During this split, the empty carriers pick up electrons to become two loaded NADH molecules. Finally, the energy released is used to build ATP. So our final answer is that for every single glucose molecule, the cell nets two pyruvates, two NADH molecules, and two ATP molecules. This physical transformation is what keeps the cell alive. This molecular tracking leads us to an important question about energy economics. How does the cell manage its energy budget? Just like starting a business, the cell has to spend some of its own money, or energy, first to get the process started. We calculate the final profit using a simple formula. Net ATP equals ATP produced minus ATP consumed. The consumed ATP is the initial energy tax the cell pays during the preparatory phase to make the glucose unstable enough to split. The produced ATP is the gross amount generated during the payoff phase, when the molecules break down. If the consumed energy were higher than the produced energy, the cell would quickly die from energy bankruptcy. Let us see how this balances out. Now that we have our formula, let us walk through a practical accounting problem. We need to calculate the exact net yield of ATP. First, in the investment phase, the enzyme hexokinase consumes 1 ATP, and phosphofructokinase 1 consumes a second ATP. So our total consumed is 2 ATP. This destabilizes the sugar. Next, the payoff phase runs twice, because our sugar was split into two pieces. The enzymes phosphoglycerate kinase and pyruvate kinase each generate 1 ATP per piece, giving us a gross production of 4 ATP molecules. Finally, we subtract the 2 ATP invested from the 4 ATP produced. Our final answer is a net profit of 2 ATP molecules per glucose. This rapid profit is exactly what keeps your muscles firing during a heavy sprint. So we have proven that glycolysis yields a net profit of ATP. This brings us to the thermodynamics of the pathway. For glycolysis to be effective, the overall process must be spontaneous. This means it must happen naturally without requiring a constant external push from the cell. In biochemistry, we measure the spontaneity of a reaction using the change in Gibbs free energy. If this free energy change is negative, it means the reaction releases energy and happens spontaneously. We need to prove that the entire pathway is thermodynamically favorable, which will explain why glycolysis only flows in one direction under normal cellular conditions. To prove that the pathway is spontaneous, we need a mathematical approach. We find the overall free energy change by summing up the free energy changes of all 10 individual steps. In this equation, delta G overall represents the total change in free energy from glucose to pyruvate. The sigma symbol means the sum of, and delta G individual steps represents the free energy change of each specific enzyme-catalyzed reaction. Conceptually, if the sum of all these individual changes results in a large negative number, the entire pathway is highly favorable and will proceed forward aggressively. If it were positive, the pathway would be physically impossible without adding external energy. Let us calculate this. Now that we have our thermodynamic formula, let us plug in the real numbers. We can simplify our calculation by focusing on the 3 highly irreversible energy-releasing steps, which act as massive waterfalls driving the whole river forward. Step 1, the hexokinase reaction, has a free energy change of negative 16.7 kilojoules per mole. Step 3 is negative 14.2, and step 10 is a massive negative 31.4. The other 7 steps have values very close to 0, meaning they just float along with the current. When we add these three large negative values together, we arrive at our final answer, an overall free energy change of approximately negative 62.3 kilojoules per mole under standard conditions. Now that we have calculated the standard free energy, let us understand what this actually proves about the living cell. We start with our calculated value of negative 62.3 kilojoules per mole. However, standard laboratory conditions do not perfectly match the dynamic environment inside a living cell. We must adjust this mathematical model to account for the actual cellular concentrations of reactants and products. Because the cell constantly brings in glucose and rapidly consumes pyruvate, the high concentration of reactants continuously pushes the reaction forward. This mathematical reasoning shows us that the real-world driving force is even stronger than our standard calculation suggests. Let us see the final result of this adjustment. Continuing our derivation, when we apply the actual cellular conditions to our free energy equation, the value shifts significantly. The adjusted free energy change becomes even more negative, dropping to around negative 85 kilojoules per mole. Because this number is so highly negative, it physically proves that glycolysis is an incredibly exergonic, energy-releasing process. The intuition here is simple. Water flows down a steep mountain, never up. This massive drop in free energy ensures that the pathway only flows in one direction, which is forward. This prevents the cell from accidentally running the reactions backward and wasting precious energy. We have mathematically proven the thermodynamic guarantee that your cells will get the energy they need. To visually reinforce everything we have just learned and proven, let us look at the complete 10-step pathway. At the top of the diagram, you see the investment phase, starting with our 6-carbon glucose. Notice the curved arrows at steps 1 and 3 showing ATP being consumed to destabilize the sugar. In the middle, the pathway splits, leading into the payoff phase at the bottom. Here, you can see NAD+ being loaded with electrons and ADP being converted into ATP at steps 7 and 10. Finally, observe the bold one-way arrows at steps 1, 3, and 10. These represent the highly exergonic, irreversible reactions we just calculated, driving the entire process down to the final product, pyruvate. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us summarize our key takeaways. First, remember that glycolysis is the universal 10-step cellular axe located in the cytoplasm. It systematically chops a 6-carbon glucose molecule into 2 3-carbon pyruvates. Second, while it requires an initial investment of 2 ATP, it pays off by producing 4, resulting in a net gain of 2 ATP and 2 high-energy NADH molecules. Finally, because the overall free energy change is highly negative, this pathway is a powerful one-way biological engine. You now understand the absolute foundation of cellular metabolism, which provides the crucial raw materials for generating even more massive amounts of energy later on. Excellent work today.